Test, test. It's good. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you live here to the Pope Prep live stream, where we are bringing you live coverage of the opening round of the D3 bracket for your Pope Francis Cardinals as they take on the visiting Dracut Middies. I'm Dom Percy here, the voice of the Cardinals, and we are set here for another nighttime game here, 5 o'clock Eastern time, under the lights at Pope Francis Preparatory School, and it is the girls Pope Francis team here that had such a promising run heading into the Western Mass tournament. They were the second rank behind Longmeadow here, and it was a really, really hard-fought battle here through overtime, through double overtime, and into penalty kicks here. But unfortunately, they just came up short, falling 2-1 in the Western Mass Class A finals here. So an unfortunate end for them, though, holding the number 4 spot in the D3 power rankings, though. Number 4 Cardinals versus the number 29 Dracut Middies. Middies coming into this game at a 12-5-1 record. Pope with an 8-3-7 record. So as we said before, the ties certainly do add up, especially for Pope Francis here late into the power rankings as they would come here. Their only losses this season only loss to a Western Mass team was in the Class A finals versus Longmeadow, a 2-1 loss in penalty kicks, as Longmeadow is a girls team currently holding the number 2 spot in the Division 2 rankings. And then there are other 2 losses coming against Immaculate Heart Academy, and that was a trip to New Jersey around Columbus Day weekend, and a loss to Nepomuk Regional, who currently is the number 2 rank in the D3 state bracket right now, with a 3-0 loss to Nepomuk Regional, so certainly looking to turn things around here. Nepomuk, the highest rank in the D3 power rankings, undefeated so far. The winner of this game here will take on Dedham, as they had their 3-2 win over Aponisquet Regional, as that game was set for 2 days ago. Here, Dracut, though, had to come ready to play, certainly, not only right now, but also in the preliminary round of the 4-1 win over Notre Dame Academy. Here, so as we look at the bracket here, the highest opponent that Pope will face here would be the number 1 Medfield, all the way getting to the Final Four bracket here. Still trying to focus in on the games that we have at hand right now. But it'll be home field advantage through the opening round, the round of 16, and round of 8, if Pope will get to that point, which I don't think they should have a problem with that at all. Certainly here. As leading the way for them so far has been Mila Dillard with 17 points under her belt, as well as Maeve Trammell, 14 points. And as we said, we talked about, it was Dylan Chapdelaine. We talked about him all last night here. Freshman standout. Freshman standout for Pope Francis, certainly for the girls team. Rylan Wishkevitz, 16 points here, 11 goals, right behind Maeve Trammell for leading goal scorer of the year here. 11 goals, 5 assists so far. So really good stats all around here. And then holding it down in the back has been Eden Kornacki with 98 saves throughout the season so far. But as we said here, Pope's only loss to a Western Mass team came in the D3, or rather in the Class A finals, as that would be a 2-1 penalty kicks loss. And we said before, those are reasonably good losses that they've had, especially before. Losing by a goal, especially going past overtime and double overtime here, as both teams were looking to just sway the energy late in those overtime games. It was Longmeadow and it was Pope. Student sections going back and forth. Here, I believe that game we do still have the footage of, so that is good. Here, we lost it at the boys' game, unfortunately. But student sections going back and forth. But Kornacki deep into the O-zone here, as she is sprawling out to make a save there. So Pope will get their first save courtesy of Kornacki. But Dracut with their first shot on goal already here, coming in as the big underdog in this story, the number 29 rank here, out against the number 4 rank. Certainly, though, as we said before, we have seen big upsets, big Cinderella runs here throughout the bracket, as Dedham here pulling off an upset, the number 20 Dedham versus number 13 Apponequet Regional. So that was a 20 versus 13. Dedham being the number 20 with a 3-2 win. Here's the winner of this game is set for a match versus Dedham, as working up the sidelines here, though, for the Cardinals is Rylan Washevitz, trying to move it to the middle again. Leave it back for Ali Soja. Middies will clear it, though, out of the zone. Hannah Johnson trying to provide the first layer of defense here. Before it's sent back into the zone here. Middies looking to just regroup, get something going, work it down low. Or to be a pass sent into the zone by Aubrey Rago. So pass out from Kornacki's mound, as that shot was sent a little bit wide, as Kornacki again out to save it here. Could have been a little shaky there. Really, we saw the aggressive plays certainly have come up big for Pope Francis goaltenders here, but they have also done a good job of biting them in the back, certainly. Yeah, and that's something you got to take into consideration here in the opening round of 32, especially. As Pope has not really had a lot of sustained ozone time here. Dracut doing a good job of some early forward momentum and some ozone pressure early on here, as they're looking to maybe wear out this Cardinal team here. But what they're going to run into is, do they have it in another gear here to push through it and to push past all 2 halves, all 80 minutes of this game here, to play the full 80 minutes and to come out with either a tie or a well-done game. As we have seen, really the only team that we saw put a challenge against Pope was Long Meadow. As Termel shoots here, as this will be a save made for senior goaltender Olivia DeRusso. So 2-1 the shots on goal in favor of Dracut currently. So as we said before, Pope off a 2-1 loss to Longmeadow, most recently in the Class A finals. Dracut most recently off of a 3-1 win versus Wakefield Memorial. And that win about a week ago, though, so both teams with about the same time between games here for the opening round. So time to get some training in, get the last couple of reps in here before 2 teams go head-to-head in what it matters for most here, the state tournament, the state title here, as all the way out to play it now is going to be Kornacki here before she kicks that up the middle. So over for Gabby Shabeli, as the Middies are putting some pretty good forward pressure here deep in the ozone here. And as we said before here, you can't come off, especially not only as the number 4 seed, and end up a little shakier. You got to have some composure and some control deep down into the zone here. And Pope's done an okay job at that so far here, but it's something that they definitely got to turn around and make better. Without a doubt here in the D zone here, as pass will get up from Maeve Termel over for Ali Soja. Soja looking up for Washkevitz, as this will be played back for DeRusso, rather. Well, the Middies try to work it back up. Peyton Beedling deflects this ball out of play. In the opening 10 minutes of the game so far, gone by 0-0. Those of you just tuning in here had a little bit of a late start. We do apologize for that. But we are here. I believe the next game, if Pope Francis comes out on top, will be set for Monday, more than likely around 5 o'clock. Unsure if I will be able to attend that game, but certainly looking forward to it regardless. The ball sent along the far side of the field here for Chelsea Brennan. Brennan trying to find an inside lane. Says she sends it back for Gabby Shabeli. Before she plays it back for defenseman Peyton Beedling. And Pope in no rush at all. Trying to go maybe for a let's wear out Dracut early on in this opening half, and then we can pile on some more pressure here. as Brennan gets the pass middle. Trying to find an inside lane maybe for Brasilarci. Ford is sent just outside the goalpost. As Gabby Chabelli will head off the field and Layla Rosati on for Pope Francis. This ball trying to get work forward again by the Middies. Here, Pope is not only getting outshot right now, 2-1, but also definitely getting outpossessed here. Certainly in their own D zone, possession has just been very, very little, and especially deep in the O zone, very, very little here. And you don't want to have that come out as your what you're giving off here as the number 4 team here. You're holding one of the top rankings. You've worked so hard for this rankings, and as we said again, 8-3-7 coming into this game. You have worked hard, certainly, to get to this point here. And we saw them. It was Norwell that took Pope Francis out last year. That was a road game. I believe that final score that would be 3-0. We have the footage from that game, I believe, on the YouTube channel as well. But you worked so hard to get to that point, only to be cut down in the quarterfinals by a team that you have played oh so many times in the past here, and you know them here, though. Pope Francis, though, right behind Norwell in the power rankings, the 4 and the 3 seed here, as Mila Dillard gives a little lob pass over the middle for Washevitz. Washevitz in on goal. A good defensive play there, though, by the Middies. As they try to get back now, as it was Elizabeth Shank with a good back check here on Rylan Washevitz. For it's a long-distance shot here sent on Kornacki, which she easily is square to. So certainly, as we said before here, not only Pope being outshot, for a ball sent along the close side of the field here. Ali Soja can provide a first layer defense. Get it up for Rylan Washevitz. Here, though, as we said, though, a really point-forward heavy line that Pope Francis has here between Trammell, between Dillard, between Washevitz. 2 D1 college commits here. Mila Dillard, University of Kentucky, and Maeve Trammell, Stonehill College. Here, and then we've seen the freshman phenoms come into play, certainly, for Pope Francis here. 16 points already on the season, 2nd in points, 2nd in goals for Rylan Washevitz here, and still 3 more years ahead of her. So plenty of time here to make something happen, and something magical happen, especially here. But right now, trying to just focus on getting past, it's the round of 8 so far for soccer teams here. Have not seen anything past the round of 8 here, and both times being cut down by the Norwell Clippers here. Unfortunately, though, for them, if it got to that point, we would not see a matchup versus Norwell until it got to the state championship final. So good for Pope Francis. Good for really for both teams here. Close games all around here between the boys and the girls team. Over the last 3 years, a good job, certainly. As a shot here sent along the far side by Middies forward Lacey Martin, as she was looking to go far posting in. We send just to the outside here, 14 minutes into the game. And Kornacki will take it out of her own goal mound. Beedling working it back for Ramirez. Trying to find a lane upfield for Layla Rosati. Dracut, though, good ball possession so far here deep into the Pope Francis zone here. And again, you got to start taking this into consideration here if you're Pope. You're the number 4 team. You've played really lackadaisical so far in your own defensive zone. The possession has just been very, very lacking. 0 offensive movement forward here. No zone time at all. No possession here, but especially between the neutral zone and the forward zone here. You got to start taking this into consideration here because you're still at a 0-0 game here, let alone big differences between the rankings. But again, as we've said oh so many times here, the only thing that matters here in the Division III state tournament, or rather in any state tournament or any bracket, only thing that matters here is who wants it more when the lights come on. That's the only difference that we have seen here, and that's what's going to push. We saw it was last year. in the boys Division 1 tournament. It was number 31 Newton North, the second to longest shot of the bracket. Here, they won the Division 1 state tournament here. And that's all what it comes down to here is who wants it more and who's willing to go the extra mile here and to get to the point where they are. Here, and if you're Pope, you got to take that into consideration here. Be like, hey, they're the underdogs. Don't expect anything light coming from them. Here, they are coming in here. They definitely, without a doubt, would want it more here because they have nothing more to lose here as they're the 29 seed. But still, you have to hold that number 4 spot that they have here and really just take it with all your might and do as best as you can in this tournament here as Kornacki will get her 5th save of the night here. And again, I think where it all starts here in the ozone here, also just firing shots off from a distance here. That certainly will be a good way to start for Pope Francis here. Getting outshot 5-1 currently as Turmel's pass was broken up. As this was trying to get set up field, but broken up by Aubrey Rago. As Cardinals look to work it back. Maeve Turmel over for Mila Dillard. Dillard leaves it back for Turmel, who finds Chelsea Brennan. Brennan trying to work it along the far side for Brasselarchi. Has Washevitz moving to the middle. Ella Brasselarchi trying to find Washevitz. Only for Dracut to move it back the other way. Middies trying to work it back up field. Rago. And along the far side for Maddie Joffrey. Washevitz looking inside. Mila Dillard on a breakaway. Now called offsides, though. As it was a good outlet find and a good outlet feed here from Washevitz trying to find Dillard in on the middle, but called offsides here is what Pope could have had as the opening goal. Turned down, or the opening goal opportunity was turned down. As now working on the far side, Brooke St. Pierre for the Middies. Where it is taken back by Sophie Samard. Trying to work it up for Rylan Washevitz. And this is be sent out of bounds along the far side. So as we look at the schedule, as we said before, Monday, more than likely, Pope comes out with the victory tonight. They will play Dedham, number 20 seed on Monday. Boys soccer on the road for what will more than likely be the remainder of the tournament here. They had the one opening, the preliminary round game, but now set to take none other than Norwell, the same team that knocked them out last year, that they lost 1-0 to, holding the number 1 ranking. The same team, the Norwell Clippers here, and honestly, a bit of a reverse with the rankings. Norwell ranking way, way higher than last year here at the number 2 spot, and Pope Francis, the boys team, with the 15. But as we said, ranking means nothing. All depends on who's having the better night. Yeah, that's all it comes down to. And it certainly could be the boys' case here, as Norwell has just claimed so many seasons out of the last couple of years for the boys and the girls' team here. And it's really, it's got to strike something here, certainly. Whether it's one of the upcoming years, whether it's this year even, here, one of these top teams has got to go down here if you're Pope Francis. You got to make a statement name for yourself. Though Pope Francis, in their last 4 games here, 2-1-1, the one loss coming, as we said, against Longmeadow, and the tie coming against Belchertown. But up to that point, 2 3-1 wins versus Westfield and East Longmeadow. And as we said, leading the way, Stonehill College commit Maeve Turmel and University of Kentucky commit Mila Dillard, as well as Rylan Washevitz, all with over 14 points under their belt so far, and a minimum of 9 goals here for this offensive line. As the ball was sent back into the Pope D zone here, Pope trying to get back into that zone, but Dracut has just done a good job of clearing any and all opportunities out of the zone here. Peyton Beedling leaving it up for Ella Brasselarchi, who was taken down the play by Middies striker freshman Sadie Dubois. Middies looking to work it forward here, trying to find an outlet pass as it was Martin. Try to get it from Aubrey Rago. Kornacki works it out of our own goal mound, trying to find Peyton Ramirez. Ramirez gets it up for Brasselarchi here. Brasselarchi being pressured on by 2 of the Dracut forwards here. Washevitz provides the second layer of offense, though, for Pope Francis before it's sent out of play. Under 20 now remaining in the opening half. Still scoreless for those of you just tuning in here. The forward line has done very, very well for Pope Francis here, though. But what it's all mattered now here is not only Pope Francis getting outshot currently, but who wants it more? Definitely. So shots on goal right now, 5-1 in favor of the Middies. Here's senior goaltender Olivia DeRusso with the save, and Eden Kornacki with 5 so far tonight. Washevitz looking far side, trying to find Dillard. Dillard with a burst of speed and room. She scores! It's MIAA Dillard who found the open pass from Washevitz, and she has her 10th goal of the season and first of this tournament. So Pope Francis up 1-0. MIAA Dillard with the opening goal, her 10th of the season. As Pope Francis, they needed something going for them, and this was certainly the big wake-up call for them. As Kornacki now hesitated on the play all the way out to play it, though Hannah Johnson sends it out along the far side. So Pope up 1-0. Dracut, why they have worked hard here deep into the Pope Francis D zone, they've had nothing to show for it, unfortunately. So certainly something that you have to take into consideration here if you're the Pope defense here. Hey, we're being outworked down low. We had the one outlet pass, and it was definitely a good pass that they were able to pick off here. MIAA Dillard, though, still looking for more here. Chelsea Brennan gets the pass up for Ella Bressa-Larchi. There was a play that started all in the middle of the zone here. MIAA Dillard dancing her way around two midfielders of the Dracut Middies to get to that point. As this will be a throw-in now for the Middies along the close side of the field. Pass was looking to get sent forward by C.D. Dubois. For MIAA Dillard looks to take it herself along the sidelines. I believe this will be Pope possession. Yes, it will be. As we have subs coming onto the field. So Ali Soja on and Ella Bressa-Larchi off for Pope Francis. Dillard looking to give herself a self-pass. Or it's worked in the middle. Ramirez works it middle for Maeve Turmel. Turmel looking to find a lane. Trying to find Washevitz along the far side. It's in a foot race now. Gonna be close here. Keeps it in, though. Rylan Washevitz. Shot block there. Along the outside by Anna Johnson. Or sent back in. Ali Soja leaves off for Washevitz. We're going to go for the middle for Chelsea Brennan. Or was sent just down and out of play. Dillard, though, blocks the pass here. Taking it herself now with a little bit of open room here. Makes a move to the middle. Two moves to the middle. Fires a shot off. Sent off the crossbar. Rosati picks the rebound up. And she scores! It's Layla Rosati. Second goal of the night. And Dillard and Rosati have put Pope Francis up by 2 goals here in the span of 5 minutes. So a goal and an assist from MIAA Dillard after a beautiful shot off the crossbar, but Rosati was there to pick up the rebound. And Pope has found themselves up 2-0 here. Dracut has had really no answer for this at all. Here now, as Dillard and Rosati both with a goal each. Rosati's 4th of the season. Dillard's 10th. So sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties. Sorry about the last couple of minutes that we had here. So trying to get the mic back up and working. But Pope Francis, though, we said before, 2-0 lead here over the Dracut Middies. Chelsea Brennan looking to work it forward for Rylan Wishkevitz. Before it is called offsides here on the close sideline. But Dracut, we said before, they haven't had an answer for Pope's 2 goals so far here in the opening 25 minutes. That's something they got to start taking into consideration here, especially late in this first half here. You're looking to get just one. One would do you some good here, though, because Pope Francis had 2 straight goals on 2 straight shots here. So if you're Dracut, you're not off to the hottest start. Certainly, it was 5 straight shots on goal after the initial Pope shot on goal. You were doing good deep into the O zone here, but ever since then, you've had nothing here. As a blind pass, looking to find up for MIAA Dillard. Dillard looking to find an inside lane. Instead, she takes it herself, fires a shot off. Save made, though, by DeRosso. So DeRosso with her 2nd save of the night, compared to Kornacki's 5. So shots on goal right now, though, 5-4 in favor of The Middies has a shot here off the crossbar. Thought it went in. As Geroso still there. Middies still trying to clear the ball here. As I believe it was a shot from Chelsea Brennan. For taken back by Maeve Trammell. Trammell leaves the pass over for Wishevitz. Wishevitz over for Dillard. Dillard along the close sideline for Ali Soja. Soja trying to find an inside lane before it's sent out by the Middies again. Soja sends it along the close sideline for Wishevitz. Back for Mila Dillard up top, already with one under her belt. Trying to make it 2 tonight. Here, trying to dance her way to the middle. Before it's sent over for Maeve Trammell on the far side for Shabelli. Shabelli fires a long-distance shot here, which will easily be a save made for DeRusso. As this was a shot back out from DeRusso's goal mound. Broken up, though, by Maeve Trammell upfield. Ali Soja trying to find Wishevitz on her horse here. As that ball was sent just outside the sidelines. We're all on the far side. Lights have come out, though, here at Pope Francis. 9 minutes remaining in the opening half. Dillard and Rosati with the 2 goals for Pope Francis. Dillard had the opening goal. And then about 3 minutes later, it would be Rosati. But Pope Francis has put what they thought was a shaky start here. Definitely with a little bit of room here, especially to play with. Though not comfortable, but definitely with a little bit of room to play with here, as they looked really shaky, though, in those opening 15 minutes here. Getting outshot 5-1 here. Dracut had the opening zone pressure. They had everything going for them, but they just couldn't find the back of the net past Kornacki. And I think that's played into a key factor here, is we saw that Dracut came out. They came out with a really good, really hot start here, but they just didn't have it in them to stay with the next 15 minutes here, and that's what has definitely killed them here and put them down 2-0 here. Also, they've not done a really good job of finding the middleman. It has been Dillard and Rosati following up with the rebounds here. So something certainly taken into consideration here at the halftime. As Chelsea Brennan leaves this pass off for Maeve Trammell, who works along the far side for Layla Rosati. Rosati looking inside has Chelsea Brennan. Also has Mila Dillard. As it's a back check here by Wishevitz. Force up the ball for Peyton Ramirez. It was over for Hannah Johnson, though. Over for Peyton Beedling. Beedling trying to force the pass over for Mila Dillard. Leaves it off for Chelsea Brennan, though. Soja's second layer there, as it was deflected out of bounds. And the Middies will get a throw-in once again. Here along the close side. 7 minutes now remaining in regulation of the opening half here. Dillard gives a touch pass up for Chelsea Brennan, who tries to find Rylan Wishevitz. Already looking for goal number 12 of the season here. First of the game, though, hopefully, for her. Wishevitz, good block inside there. Before it's deflected out of bounds. Ali Soja got the last touch on the ball, so it'll be another Middies inbound in their own D zone here. But as we said before, Dracut had the opening 15 minutes. They had good pressure going here, but ever since then, it's just teetered out, and it has not been good for them. Chelsea Brennan trying to give a little give-and-go pass for Mila Dillard. She's trying to get her second goal of the night, maybe. Or it is sent out of bounds by the Middies defenseman. As Ella Brassolarchi will get the throw-in. Dillard to Middies defenseman on her before the ball is sent out. And it'll be another Pope throw-in. Brassolarchi looking to work it forward before it's sent out of bounds again. So Milo Dillard looks to work to the middle of the field. Here as Hannah Johnson will head off and Sophie Samard on for the Cardinals defense. Brassolarchi. Inbound play for Wishevitz. Back for Brassolarchi. Brassolarchi works along the close sideline. Wishevitz. Middle for Chelsea Brennan, but not before it's called offsides, though. So as we said before, those of you that may not know the rules, the MIAA state tournament here, 2 10-minute overtimes here, golden goal in play here. Who wants to be the hero, basically. And then it will be followed by a 3-round penalty kick shootout. And if extra innings are needed after that, it will go to sudden death. As Washevitz leaves the pass middle for Mila Dillard. Washevitz, though, trying to work a pass to the middle here and fire off a shot as she does. But it'll be a save made by DeRusso. Under 5 now to play in regulation. DeRusso with her 4th save of the half here. Dracut lacking shots on goal, certainly, in a shots on goal drought, to say the least, here in the last 20 minutes of play. As it has just not gotten their way. Gave up 2 straight goals here within a 4-minute period of time here. And ever since then, it has just not worked out for them. Certainly. As Washevitz still trying to work it along the middle here and get something going. Brassolarchi, though, trying to get back. Break up the pass, though. Not before it's sent forward. And Lacey Martin will take it for the Middies. Martin trying to fire a shot off to the middle before it is sent deep out along the far sidelines. Final 4 minutes now remaining in this opening half here. So as we said before, boys are hitting the road for the Saturday game, as that'll be 3:15. Those of you down in the Norwell area maybe get a little bit of that action that is going on. There it'll be the round of 16, the Sweet 16 round for the Division 3 playoffs here. Does Pope pull off an upset and beat longtime rival the Clippers, or does the Norwell train reign on for the 4th, I believe 3rd or 4th year in a row here? Washevitz trying to find an inside pass for Brassolarchi, who tried to fire a give-and-go shot off as that hit the crossbar. Rosati trying to work inside. Or it's sent just out of bounds here. 3 crossbar shots here. Dillard, Brassolarchi, and Rosati each with 1 apiece. Or rather, Chelsea Brennan with a crossbar shot, not Layla Rosati. But still, 2 goals and 3 crossbars here for Pope Francis. So certainly with the opportunities to put this game well out of reach. Chelsea Brennan looking to work it forward. Here, Brassolarchi recollects the ball, though, as she looks to get it moving forward. Brassolarchi, though, will take it back and leave it up for Peyton Ramirez. Ramirez, outlet pass for Washevitz, not before called offsides once again, though. So 2:30 now remaining in regulation. Dillard with the opening goal. Rosati with the 2nd so far here. So goals number 10 and 4 on the season. Here, Dracut with a little bit of a back and forth, though, season, certainly here, especially in their last 4 games here, going 2-2-0. 2 wins coming over North Quincy and Notre Dame Academy. 2-1 and 4-1, and the 2 losses coming against Holliston, being a 5-1 loss, and a Westboro, which was a 3-0 loss, as Kornacki will notch her 6th save of the night. Here, as we are now in the final 2 minutes of the opening half here, now on officials' time. Here's the winner set to play Dedham. We do not have a set date for that so far yet. Though Norwell, the number 3 team here across the bracket, set to play Medway, the number 14, as this is a good save here again, made by Kornacki for her 7th of the night so far. So Norwell with a 4-0 win against Dighton Roebuck Regional High School. On the other side of the bracket here, Dover Sherborne set to take on the winner of Cardinals Spelham and Swampscott. And Foxborough set to take on the winner of the number 2 Nepomuk Regional versus Pentucket Regional. As that game was set for 2 p.m., so we should have a score coming in close by now. Foxborough, though, with a 4-3 win over Ludlow, pulling off an upset, an 18-15 upset here, as they did a good job of that, especially here now, what has to be the final couple of seconds in the opening half so far. And then the number 1 team on the bracket, Medfield, with a 8-0 statement win over Ursuline Academy here in the opening round, as they are set to take on St. Mary's. So 1 versus 17 seed. And then Belchertown is set as the number 8 seed, set to take on Tewksbury Memorial, where they will play, the winner of that game will play Martha's Vineyard. Here, Martha's Vineyard was the long shot of the tournament, knocking off the top seed, North Reading, ranked number 9 here. Though we are at the halftime here. So Dillard and Rosati with the opening goals for Pope Francis. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, coming up the second half of play live here on Pope Prep. Test, test. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here as we have the second half of regulation just about to be set and underway here. Pope Francis going to be working from left to right, and the Middies going to be working from right to left here. Pope Francis already with a 2-0 lead. Those of you that may just be tuning in here, Rosati and Dillard. Dillard with the opening goal at 20 minutes and 52 seconds. Rosati 3 minutes after for the second goal of the game. Here, Pope Francis, though, has held a 2-0 lead, though, regardless, up to this point here. And it was a good job by Pope Francis. They took what they had, especially here. They realized the early 15 minutes in, hey, we're not getting shots on goal here. We have zero offensive pressure going here. And they did a good job. They found the one lane that they had. Here it was Dillard and Rosati both following up with the rebound and the shot. And they made it count, certainly here. So when the opportunities have come, Pope Francis has pounced on the opportunities. So a good job by them, certainly, here so far, as they look to come out with the win here, and they look to play Dedham, the number 20 seed, here, as that game more than likely will be set for Monday. Unsure, though. Hopefully, probably not along the weekend here, as Dillard looking for her second goal here before the ball was sent out by DeRusso. For Trammell trying to upend the ball here and get it back into the O-zone for the Cardinals here. And I think if you're Dracut, you have to say, hey, Pope had two good opportunities here. There are two mistakes that we made, but certainly that has not put us out of the runnings here. Though they had the opening opportunity here where they were out shooting Pope Francis 5-1 here in the opening 15 minutes here. And they got to take that into consideration, and they got to say, hey, we can do it. We've done it before, and we got to start doing it again. And it all starts here in the beginning of the second half here if they want any chance at coming back and winning this game here, though. Pope Francis trying to do what they do best here, though, and just close out this game. Hold on for the victory here, as they are more than likely will be set for it'll be a home field game here versus Dedham. Around probably 5 o'clock, I'll go with here. More than likely set for Monday. Kind of like pre-firing the shot for when the game could be, as Dillard is set to take the corner kick here for the Cardinals here. Has a good length here. All the way out to play it, though, was DeRusso. And it'll be sent all the way out to the 30-yard line before Ramirez sends it back in, as she tries to find Chelsea Brennan along the far side. Ball sent out of play, though, by the Middies here. So this will be Pope throw-in here. Chelsea Brennan will get it up, trying to find Maeve Trammell here toward the middle. So Trammell, the only one without a point here so far out of this big 3-forward line. But as we said before here, this forward line has certainly generated a ton of points forward and a ton of opportunities as well. As total right now here with about 48 points here. Dillard with a goal and assist, so a 2-point night for her so far. Good job, certainly. Rosati with a big heads-up play here to put Pope Francis up 2-0, double the lead. It was the shot off the crossbar by Dillard, and Rosati was just square to the ball right there, right place, right time. And she batted home the second goal of the game for Pope Francis. So certainly a good job by her, though. Pope Francis, though, technically has beat senior goaltender Olivia DeRusso 5 times so far. 3 crossbar shots, Chelsea Brennan, MIAA Dillard, and Rylan Washevitz here. So a good job so far, certainly. They've done a good job with the pressure here. Only 2 goals to show for those shots on goal. Still in favor of the Cardinals. Or rather, in favor of Dracut. Misspoke there. 7-6 in favor of the Middies. This play was looking to get broken up here as Kylie Maslowski trying to get something going up forward back for the Middies once again. Ali Soldier looking to force us along the far side of the field before it is deflected out of play. Trammell gets the inbounded ball. Sets the pass over for Gabby Shibeli. Shibeli trying to find the inside for MIAA Dillard for maybe her second goal of the game. Washevitz turns around and fires a shot as this was sent over the goal. Here as this cleared the field, and I think might have cleared all the way to the fence here along the far side. But again, as we take a look at the bracket here, we said it all comes down to who wants it more here. And I don't think there's a better example of that for those of you that tuned into the first half here. Martha's Vineyard had a preliminary round game, a 5-1 win versus Montchatsua. 5-1 win there, and then they would go to North Reading, the number 9 seed of the bracket here, and a 24 seed Martha's Vineyard upset North Reading. Final score of 1-0. So they are set to take on the winner of the Tewksbury Memorial Belchertown, as Tewksbury with a 3-0 win in the preliminary round over Chicopee here. So Western Mass teams dwindling down to just a few now here with Ludlow and Chicopee out. It is now Belchertown and Pope Francis still in it for the Division III bracket so far. The ball sent into the middle here, as still dancing her way to the middle is Aubrey Rago, though, but it is a save made by Eden Kornacki. And Kornacki will roll this one out for defenseman Peyton Ramirez. Tries to work it upfield for Shibeli and find Hayden Beedling. Beedling, though, sets it back over for Shibeli. Shibeli trying to work it along the far side before it is sent out of bounds. Now 6 minutes gone by in this second half. Pope Francis has done a good job with their shots on goal so far, though Dracut has certainly put on more pressure. Not as we saw, though, in the first half, though, where it was really the first 15 minutes all out. They had 5 shots on goal here. None beat Kornacki, though they definitely had the opportunities, to say the least, here, as trying to work it forward is Kylie Maslowski for the Middies. Here, though, it'll be ruled Pope possession, though, and it'll be a throw-in for Sophie Samard. For it is sent immediately back out by Rylan Washevitz. Inbounded, though, by the Middies forward, Brooke St. Pierre, trying to get it up forward, though. MIAA Dillard dancing her way to the middle, though. There's a little fake there. She looked like she was going to get the pass off for Peyton Ramirez, trying to find an inside lane and find Maeve Turmel, only to be met by a wall of Dracut defensemen. Turmel working along the far side, trying to find Chelsea Brennan. Brennan looking to fire a shot off to the middle, or rather, no, Soja looking for a deflection here before it's sent out by DeRusso. So Pope still with shots on goal here, now 7-7 apiece. But if you're Dracut here, I mean, we've said it before here. We saw in the boys' games, time becomes your greatest enemy here. And if you feel like a broken record saying this over and over again, back-to-back nights, but time does become your greatest enemy here. When you're down by a goal with 5 minutes left here, down by 2 goals, 15 minutes left here, you start to find that in other gear, but it's just too little, too late here. You may get the 1 goal, you may get the 1 opportunity, but it just comes down to the fact that it is really too little, too late. And we've seen teams like that. We saw it with the boys team, especially in the Class B finals here. It was Chapdelaine, it was Vindez. They had great efforts to move the ball, get it going forward, but when it came, they were down 2-0 here throughout the entirety of the second half here. And really only those last 15 minutes, they really found their extra setting. And it didn't work out for them, unfortunately. Here they would lose the Class B finals to Chicopee, who would win their first Western Mass tournament in over 40 years. Pope were going to go for the back-to-back against Chicopee, only to be shut down, though. So certainly that was unfortunate. But definitely things to learn from, especially from that game and from the girls team in the Long Meadow game. Here, as it was Trammell that had the equalizer. Here, we thought it was a very controversial goal, especially in that game versus the Lancers. Here, the opening goal here, we thought it went off the crossbar and off Kornacki's hand out, but we were told it did go in, and unfortunately there is no live replay footage at Central and for MIAA Sports here. Unfortunately, I believe that will be changing though for maybe Division I hockey here at the Garden. So that'll be coming up in the winter. So again, winter sports season, we're looking forward to it. Boys and girls basketball, girls hockey night, or girls senior night for hockey, and then a couple of boys and a bunch of boys games too as well. So we're looking to bring you live coverage of those games here, as I will do my best to be in attendance for those games. You may hear Garrett Anderson behind the mic once again. Here, you heard him last year. Did a great job here as Pope steamrolled through the state tournament here and through the Western Mass. Here, still looking to go for more and more titles here. Though as the 4P was cut down and the back-to-back was cut down as well. As the ball is sent out, play along the far side here. The ball is worked deep here along the close sideline here. Brennan looking to work it forward for Sophie Samard. Samard passed though upended there by Keely Maslowski of the Middies. Here's how we sent out of bounds here. 13 minutes just gone by here in the second half. So Dillard and Rosati with both goals here for Pope Francis. So only one big upset here as we look across the D3 bracket here. Though two Western Mass teams remain here so far, Belchertown and Pope Francis. Here, though, Long Meadow held the number 2 spot in the D2 rankings here, so certainly for them looking to go far, and they could certainly also have a very long streak ahead of them, very long win streak ahead of them, as they would play Silver Lake Regional, the number 31 seed, with a 3-1 win over them at Long Meadow. That game was set for yesterday at 4:30, as they are now set to play North Quincy, who also had an upset over Canton. That was an 18 versus 15 seed, though Long Meadow punching their ticket in the Sweet 16 round so far here, as the opening rounds are just about set here between these 2 days, between yesterday and today here for the division, or I should say all the divisional rankings for boys and girls soccer here. And as we take a look at the Division 1 rankings here, no teams from around here really making from Western Mass one of the top seeds in the bracket here. Needham with the number 1 seed, Bishop Feehan number 2 here. And I mean teams with really close records here, almost undefeated here. Though as we said before, it is Nepomuk Regional with the only undefeated record so far here. Pope Francis would play them earlier on, just about midway through the season. An unfortunate 3-0 loss to them though. But as we said before here, Long Meadow was the only Western Mass team that Pope would have a loss to, and it took them past overtime, past double overtime, and into penalty kicks here. So regardless, we say respectable losses all around here. And prior to that game, it was a 2-2 tie and a 1-1 tie. So good job all around, certainly, from there. Though, I mean, if you're Dracut, though, you've got to find something else here, especially in this second half here. You've had a couple of opportunities here trying to turn it back. You already get it deep into the Pope D zone, but you haven't had anything. We said you had those 5 straight shots here that you had Pope on their heels. You were thinking, hey, this is the number 4 seed. We're doing really good against them. But then it was just 2 mistakes that you found within 5 minutes that Pope Francis capitalized on, and that is what has put them up in this game so far, other than the multitude of crossbar shots they've hit. I think it's 3 right now is the counter for the crossbar shots, as Dillard was taken down the play. Samard works it up forward, trying to find Chelsea Brennan. Dillard's still slow to get up. Samard taken down the play. Pass up forward with Shevitz, though. With Shevitz trying to fire a shot off. Maybe it hits off the outside of the goalpost, as she thought she almost had there. It could have definitely beat senior goaltender Olivia DeRusso. As Samard, though, still slow to get up here along the close sidelines, with under 25 remaining in the second half here, as the Middies look to work it forward. But as we were saying, across the Division III power rankings, only one big upset. Here, Dillard looking to dance the mill. Trammell trying to fire a shot off, but before it was blocked out in front. But only one main big upset. Here, the number 1 midfield set to take on St. Mary's over the weekend on Sunday. That game is set for 4:30 so far. And a little bit of an odd scenario here. Normally, it's the higher seed with the home field advantage, as is the case here. Though Belchertown and Tewksbury set for a game at Minnetonka, though, in Wilbraham, Mass. So, rather than being at Belchertown, it will be at a neutral site for both Tewksbury and Belchertown. A little bit of an odd occurrence, certainly, for both teams here. Though Western Mass being the higher ranking team, they will have home field advantage technically, though. While it's not at their school, they do have the, let's just say, shorter travel, without a doubt. I believe Tewksbury about an hour and a half away here, so a little bit of a distant trip for them. Samar looking to get it up for Ella Brassolarchi, before the ball was just sent out of play here, as it's worked along the close sideline here, with Shevitz looking for a self pass, trying to find an inside lane, though, also for Chelsea Brennan. And again, we said this big forward line here for Pope Francis, with Shevitz, Trammell, Dillard. Here, they have all gone to work here. Just around 50 points here so far this season, heading into the postseason here. And they've just done oh so well, certainly here. As you said, the least amount of goals among this individually is 9 goals, and the least amount of points being 14 points. So, really good job by them, certainly, so far, as Brassolarchi was looking for a head pass, maybe to find with Shevitz. But again, we've said the freshmen for the boys and girls team have certainly come to play. It was Dylan Chapdelaine for the boys team, and now Rylan Wishkevitz for Pope Francis here, doing good jobs with the outside lane drives here, all the way along the close and the far sidelines. Here, they've done a really good job of both of that. Here, we've seen the boys and girls team, and they've stepped up when there's big shoes to fill. They've done a really, really good job of that, certainly. As the ball was sent out along the far side before it's inbound again. Pass looking to get up for Aubrey Rago of the Middies. Trying to get a pass over to the middle here. Lacey Martin for Brassolarchi will turn around. Martin, though, still on the ball. Here, Middies with a little bit of offensive pressure going here. Trying to fire a shot off. Maybe complete this here, as this was a pass to the middle. Not called off sides, though. Kornacki with the save. Might have been a late offsides call here, though. But Lacey Martin was able to fire a shot off here and give maybe a little bit of a momentum changer for the Dracut Middies. So maybe get a little bit of something going for them, certainly. But, I mean, that was just a really... We saw that's how Mila Dillard had the opening goal here. It was a pass to the inside lane, and it just found the open man, right place, right time, and on a near partial break, and she did a good job. She capitalized on that opportunity, and she put Pope Francis on her shoulders and put them up 1-0. Here, also with the second goal, too, it was a shot off the crossbar. Here, so as we said, 3 shots we've seen off the crossbar so far. So, senior goaltender Deruso technically beat so far 5 times. Here's this game. It could be 5-0, could be easily more, as Pope is dominated here, especially from we saw in the second part of the opening half here. Well throughout this, what has been so far the second half as well here. Dracut has started to find their groove, but not much so far here. Pass that along the close side here. Looking to make a move to the middle is Kylie Maslowski. Trying to find the lane for Lacey Martin. For this one will be sent out along the far side. Then it'll be a Middies throw-in. So along the close side here for Brooke St. Pierre gets the throw-in. The pass is sent off for Aubrey Rago. Again, sent out of bounds, though. Rago will regroup with the ball as she gives it off. It'll be a throw-in for Brooke St. Pierre, freshman on this Dracut Middies team. So Brooke St. Pierre will get the throw-in for the Middies. Trying to find Lacey Martin on the inside here. Pope, though, with a good defensive zone presence here. Far side shot here, broken up almost by Layla Rosati. For Adeline Tromboli. Unable to handle the ball on the far side. Middies will get the throw-in, though, as this is thrown in for Maddie Joffrey. And it's sent back for Middies defenseman Anna Johnson. Trying to work it back up again for Joffrey. Find the inside lane, but nothing would go there. Under 20 now to play in regulation here. Pope Francis they've had quality opportunities here, but really, I mean, if you're them, you're looking to just kill the clock here. You have your shots on goal. You have the lead, especially here. It may not be as much as you want it to be, but you've got a respectable lead so far here. Looking not to come out of this game with anyone injured at all here. You have a big game coming up, what could be versus Denham, which will more than likely be. Here's Washevitz, Dillard, and Brassolarchi called offsides here at the 30-yard line. 18:50 now remaining in regulation. Pope still up 2-0 for those of you just tuning in to this game right now. Mila Dillard with the opening goal nearly halfway through the opening half here, and then Rosati off of the feed from Dillard. It was at one of the initial shots off the crossbar as Washevitz looking to give herself a self-pass here, was looking to get the header forward. Here, Rosati, though, going to work it along the far side of the field here. Sets it back for defenseman Peyton Beedling. Finds an open lane here along the far side for Ella Brassolarchi. Over for Mila Dillard, who looks to get a pass to the middle, trying to find Washevitz or Brassolarchi again. Though Middies have to regroup and send this along the far side. Samard sends this one out of play here as it was a pass off of sophomore forward Maslowski. Termel trying to find an outlet pass up forward for Washevitz. As this again will be a throw-in for the Middies. All the way, though, back at their own 10-yard line. As this will be sent up forward by Kylie Maslowski. Dillard trying to work to the middle here. Fire off a shot here. Looking for 2. Spinorama shot to the middle. Mila Dillard still trying to fire a shot off, though, before it's broken up. Play is broken up in the middle of the zone here. Washevitz looking to work along the far side of the field here. Upended, though. Able to fire the shot off, though. Trying to find Mila Dillard, middle of the field, though. Finds Gabby Shabelli. Rosati got the deflection, though. It'll be a save made by Deruso for her 6th save of the night on 8 shots so far. So Kornacki has been spotless for the Cardinals so far. Deruso has let 2 in so far. 8 shots on goal, 6 saves. And Kornacki a spotless 9 for 9 so far for the Cardinals. Here, so as we take a look at the bracket, no scores coming in. It's set for Nepomuc Regional with a 4-0 win versus Pentucket. Here, so Nepomuc set to take on Foxborough, who upset the number 15 seed Ludlow. Final score of that game would be 4-3. Here, so Foxborough and Nepomuc set for a match on Monday at 11 a.m. Those of you down in the Northbridge area, be sure to Definitely stop by for that game. It was a good game. Two decent teams here. Ludlow upset and Nepomuk looking to rain on here. As we said before, it was 3-0 Pope Francis lost to them midway through the season. But, hey, you were still – your team is still starting to get to know each other, and there's still certainly a lot of progress to be made here. And you certainly have come a long, long way, especially since that point. So you definitely could knock off one of these top teams come quarterfinals, semifinals, especially if you get to that point here. Brasilarchi, though, looking to work it forward along the close side here, trying to find Washkevitz. No, instead she finds an inside lane for Maeve Turmel, who gives a little tap pass for Layla Rosati. Rosati and Turmel. Rosati looks to fire a shot off save, made, though, again by DeRusso. So the shots on goal now 9-9 apiece. Under 15:30 now remaining in regulation. As we have seen no goals both ways here since the opening half. As Milo Dillard will take the corner kick along the far side of the field. So, a couple of upsets here also. The bracket as a header went in from Maeve Turmel. It was Maeve Turmel's. It was a shot from Mila Dillard here along the far side. So, she has 2 assists on the night so far. But Turmel now with her 13th goal of the season as she leads Pope Francis in goals so far here. 15 points. And Pope Francis with 3 different scorers here at the 25-minute mark, as now a 3-0 lead here, and Dracut's chance for redemption or anything to come back here is just slowly and slowly getting out of the grasp of their hands here. So 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers here, and under 15 now to play in the second half. The leading goal scorer for the Cardinals team here. Well around 50 points now for the top line. Dillard, Turmel, and Washevitz. Here, though, Mila Dillard with 3 points, though, on the night here. A goal and 2 assists here as she is added on now being even more, I believe now, 20 points on the season for her so far. Has to be nearing in on her 100th career point, I believe, right around that area. As ball sent up for Rylan Washevitz. Washevitz looking to make it 4-0 maybe. But also, as we look here along the far side of the bracket, Washevitz also looking to get maybe the 4th goal for Pope Francis here as it's sent just outside the net. But as we said before here, scores just coming in here as I believe this game I did not see down towards the bottom here. But Wilmingham set to take on East Bridgewater Junior Senior High School here as a big upset here along the bracket here. The number 28 team takes down number 5 Hanover. So Pope now the highest team on the lower left side of the Division III bracket here. Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about here, just looking at the screen here on my computer so far here. Down towards the lower end of the bracket here. So the highest team right now being Pope Francis, and what will be the top 5 matchup will be, if we see it towards the semifinals, will be Medfield versus Pope Francis. That would be the 1 and the 4 seed here along the left side of the bracket. You know, two big teams, North Reading and Hanover, gone down, both 1-0 scores here. East Bridgewater and Martha's Vineyard both with the wins here to move on to the Sweet 16 round. Here as Pope Francis looks to do the same as well. Here up 3-0 with 12:30 remaining in regulation. Shabelli, nice little move there. Makes to move to the inside here, trying to get stripped of the ball though, only for it to be collected back by Mila Dillard. Dillard leaves the pass for Sophie Samard, give and go. Dillard still looking to work it along the close side here before it's sent out of bounds by Mazalowski, who got the last touch on it for the Middies. Smart will get the throw in here along the close side. Dillard, first touch, though. Before it's sent out of bounds once again here by the Middies. Or no, it'll be by the Cardinals. The Middies will get the throw in. Smart sends his ball forward, trying to find Gabby Shabelli. Brassalarchi looks to work it forward. Here's Samard will get the throw in. 11:40 now remaining in regulation. Sophie Samard works it forward for trying to find Rylan Wishkevitz. Word is collected by DeRusso of the Middies. Tramelda with a good steal away here. Trying to make a move to the middle. Maybe for a second goal of the season here. Dillard, though, cashes in the rebound. Or no, will it be called off here? It might be called off. Is it? No, it'll be a goal scored here by MIAA Dillard. A little bit of confusion. But Dillard with her second goal of the night and 4th point so far this season. Four-point night, big time here. As her 21st point of the season, 4th point tonight, though. 2 goals, 2 assists. So split both ways for Pope Francis here as now nearing the 10-minute mark of regulation. So Pope Francis, the score will more than likely hold, and they are going to be set to take on Dedham, the number 20 seed here. As we said before, Dedham had an upset versus Appinant Regional. 3-2 win versus them here. So definitely upsets all around the bracket here as Brassalarchi was taken down on the play. Samard put pressure on freshman forward Sadie Dubois on the far side before Soja passed it into the middle. Kornacki, though, square to the rebound here as it was a little bit of a soft shot sent in here by Dracut as we now enter under 10 to play here. Remaining in the opening round of the D3 round of 32 here. As Samard looks to get the pass back up for MIAA Dillard with a good little shuffle step there. Round Dracut forward. Sadie Dubois. Here, though, stripped of the ball as the Middies look to move it forward. Or is sent just here deep into the Pope zone. Samard with a good box out. Here's the Middies. I believe we'll get possession here. So 5 subs coming onto the field for Pope Francis. So Dillard, Shabelli, Soja, Brassalarchi. Off the field now for Pope Francis. Eden Murray, Haley Jodis, and Bella DeCasero. Evelyn Mobby also on the sidelines here. So 5 subs coming in for Pope Francis. Here as with a reasonable 4-0 lead here. So some substitutions here, getting fresh legs onto the field. There's a head outlet pass here looking for Dubois. Here's shot, though, blocked as it was Eden Murray who got in the way of Dubois down low in the Pope D zone here. 8 minutes now remaining in regulation. As this will come out of Kornacki's goal mound. Under 8 now to play in regulation. As this pass looking to get upfield for Wishevitz. For Termel will send this along the far side for Peyton Beedling. Beedling looking to get the pass upfield for Larson. Back over for Haley Jodis. Jodis looking to work along the far side here with a burst of speed here. Trying to fire a shot off has Ramirez, or not Ramirez, excuse me. Jodis had Washevitz going to the middle. And Mobby on the far side here. 7:10 now remaining in regulation so far. So score, as we said, more than likely is going to hold. So Pope will take on Dedham. As I believe that set date will more than likely be Monday. Not sure of a time yet, though. So Pope will have home field advantage, though, all the way up to the quarterfinal round. The boys are set for road games here versus Norwell this weekend. As a burst of speed, Lacey Martin along the far side of the field fakes the shot here to the middle. Martin trying to find an outlet pass, though, with Shevitz with a good back check, though, as she sends this one up the far sidelines. As the Middies will get the throw in here deep into the Popo zone. Here, not before it's immediately sent out, though, by Evelyn Mobby. So as the pass looking to get inside the zone here from Middies forward Miley Akuri. Middies back with a corner kick here, trying to get to the middle before it's headed out by Eden Murray. Here, pass up the field for Washevitz. Washevitz has Jodis on the far side of the field before it's taken down. Here, Middies, though, going to get some pressure going here in their own D zone. As I believe this will be Pope possession moving forward. Or no, rather Middies possession. Here, so when we hit the 5-minute mark, it will be on officials' time. Here, they'll Pope with nothing to worry about, though. A 4-0 lead here. Dillard, 2 goals, 2 assists. Definitely one of the star players of the night. Here, the University of Kentucky commit. Here, Rosati with 1 goal as well. And Termel, the Stonehill College, commit with 1 goal under her belt as well. Here, as Peyton Beedling works this forward for Haley Jodis. Jodis looking to work to the middle here. Makes her move around one defender. Here, not before plays broken up here at the 40-yard line. Sent back into the zone. Murray fanned on the clearing attempt, though. For to send over to the middle here. And now with a burst of speed, Aubrey Rago. Maybe trying to fire a shot here. Sent on the outside of the net, though. So as we said, on officials' time now. 5 minutes remaining in regulation. Dillard with 2 goals. Rosati with 1. And Termel with 1 as well. As Termel will be set to take this out of Kornacki's goal mound. Or rather, no, but Kornacki. A little bit of a trick play there. Set, though, for Peyton Beedling along the far sideline. So, as we said, score will more than likely hold. So, Pope will take on Dedham. Date is not yet set for that. It's a strong, hard shot here. This one, though, skies the net. As it was Kornacki maybe going for her 11th save of the night, though, so far. Shots on goal, though, 10-9 in favor of Dracut. So, while they have outshot Pope the majority of this game, they've had nothing to show for, though, unfortunately. And they've done a good job. DeRusso, though, getting beat 4 times on 9 shots. Not an ideal night for your goaltender. But, I mean, it just came out who was going to have the better night, and that's what it did come down to here. As Lauren LaBelle trying to fire a shot. Oh, only be met by the outside of the net. Here, as Murray was in a good defensive position here. So, Termel and Kornacki both set at the goal mound as Kornacki gives us a touch pass up for Maeve Termel. Washevitz works it along the close side of the field for Evelyn Mobby. Mobby looking to get the throw in, though, as she has to take a couple of yards back. Going to get up for Haley Jodis. For the center ball on the far side, Eden Murray. Murray looking to work it forward here along the far side. Maybe to find Sophia Larson. Oh, Dracut looking to work it back the other way, though. Aubrey Rago trying to get a head pass here. Kornacki as it was passed back from Peyton Beedling. Back up for Ramirez, for Trammell. Trammell for Washevitz. Washevitz over to the middle for Haley Jodis. Jodis has Brennan and Larson far side here. Jodis, though, still with it there before it's broken up at the 30-yard line. Washevitz trying to find an inside lane. Takes it herself, though, with a good step back here. Trying to find an inside lane. Jodis, though, looking for the first goal of the season, called offsides. Fortis sent still, though, 10-9 shots on goal here. 4-0 the score, though. Dillard 2 goals, Trammell 1 goal, and Rosati with 1 as well. The ball will be sent along the far side of the field here. Mobby applying the pressure, though only for Washevitz to send this one out of bounds along the close side. So Pope will take on Dedham, and from there it'll be the winner of the Pope-Dedham game set to take on the Wilmingham-East Bridgewater winner, as that will be set for the winner of that will play in the winner of those two games will play each other in the quarterfinals, and then the winner of that will play in the semifinals for the D3 bracket so far here. Though Pope will have ozone, or rather home field advantage. Here, those the final minutes tick down off the clock here. Pope still with the 4-0 lead here, as they're in no rush, just looking to kill the clock here, and they will safely move on here, without a doubt, to the Sweet 16 round. As it'll be inbounded by Alexis Villamari. For the ball sent here. Middies, though, looking to just maybe get a last couple of touches here, maybe get one more goal, as time's still winding down here. 4-0. So the Middies season will come to an end here. They had a good win in the preliminary round versus Notre Dame Academy, a 4-1 win. Though they were met with their maker, though, tonight against Pope Francis here, as 4-0 here, maybe 4-1 if Dracut can net a late goal. Though Pope looks to clear it. But more than likely, 4-0 the score will hold, and Pope will move on to the Sweet 16 round here. Though, and from there, it'll be more than likely, as we said before, a Monday game. Boys on the road Saturday versus Norwell. The 3-year rivalry between Norwell and Pope Francis, the girls and the boys team still going on here, as Pope looking to upset the number 2 Norwell Clippers. Coming into that game, the number 15 seed, a little down in the rankings here, but the ties did add up enough for them to get home field advantage here, the opening round versus Belchertown. And they really took advantage of it here with a 3-0 win, as that is the game here. So 4-0 Pope Francis wins. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, the Cardinal postgame will break down what we saw and what we hope to see in the round of 16 live here on Pope Prep. post game here, the Cardinal post game. It was a well-fought 4-0 win for Pope Francis here. Dillard, 2 goals, 2 assists here as she led Pope Francis to a big 4-0 win in the opening round here. Turmel with a goal and Rosati with a goal each. I mean, Pope Francis certainly did not have the hottest start out of the gates. Certainly not. Giving up 5 straight shots here, and it really did look like Dracut had a little bit of momentum in them. They had maybe a second gear here early on, but they were cut down very, very early on, especially here. Dillard with a goal and Rosati put an end to that within 5 minutes as they would lead 2-0 at the end of the first half, and then Dillard and Turmel both with a goal apiece again here. So final score tonight, 4-0. Dillard, 2 goals, 2 assists. Star player of the night, Turmel with a goal and Rosati with a goal. As this is Dom Percy. We'll see you next time here for the Sweet 16 round versus Dedham. The 20 seed versus the 4 live here on Pope Prep. Be sure to tune in for that. More than likely going to be Monday night. Dom Percy, the voice of the Cardinals, saying so long from Springfield. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and please have a nice night.